Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy So, and welcome back to the channel. Now, if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that like button and drop a comment on this next video as I bring you guys an interview with the upcoming challenger for the BKFC middleweight title. That is this man right here, David Redneck Mundell. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you so much for joining us here. Let the people
Thank you
know where
for
they can
having me.
find you. Absolutely. Let the people know where they can find you on social media.
On Instagram, it's just under Redneck Mundell. I got a fan page out there, Redneck Mundell as well, and then of course my name for the regular Facebook.
And
But
let's shout out some of your sponsors, man. I like that condemned hat.
I appreciate that. I got a lot of them. It's a long list. But I got Florida Alternative Medicines. I got Outlaw Customs, Fitness 360, Catalyst, Physical Therapy, Quality Rare Coins, Team Reaper, Fence Factory, Bodie Chiropractic, Chiseled Ink, and of course Condemns. So
Absolutely. I got a lot of
more to
people
come.
behind you. Yeah, man. You got a
I
lot of
have
people
to.
behind you, David, man.
It takes a lot of people to get through this stuff, believe it or not, even though it's just me and they're fighting, but just having the backing and being able to train different places and everywhere else, the team and everything, a lot goes
Yeah,
into it.
for sure. Let's get into that a little bit, man. I know that you're 5-1 in BKFC, with your only loss coming to Hector Lombard, but I'm more interested to get a little bit more of your background because when I was doing my reading on you, I know you have some experience in boxing, you have experience in MMA, so you're obviously very familiar to the fight game and very comfortable in that arena.
I've been fighting for about 11 years now. I'm more MMA. I have one boxing match, but it's a pro match and it ended in a draw. It was a local show here, and actually filled in. They called me up the night before the fights. I guess the
Wow,
opponent had his guy backed out or whatever happened. They're like, "Hey Dave, can you come save the show?" Because it was a big ticket seller. I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll come weigh in." I'm like, "I'm a little heavy, but we can do it." And you're like, "We'll take it at 205." I'm like, "Good." I'm like 201, so
perfect.
I weighed in, and we scrapped, and it was a good time, and that was my introduction to boxing.
What about MMA? I know you have some extensive history in that arena as well. Like I'm kind of interested to know what drew you from MMA into bare knuckle.
It's just kind of it's kind of a funny story. So when you hear about bare knuckle, it's like everyone, especially anybody who fights, a true fighter, like it's interesting. It's like, okay, well, I could do that. We all say, oh, we've all scrapped on the streets for free, all this
Right.
other stuff, blah blah. I'm like, well, let's go do it for real. And I had the total intentions of just coming out, doing one, and being done. You're like, because it's bare knuckle, I don't want to get cut and all this other stuff. But I went in there and I fought, and I just, it was new, and it was fun, and it just sparked something different, And now I've been fighting for them for over 4 years, and I don't know, it's addicting, I guess.
And I mean, I'd say you're pretty good at it, bro. Like your record states is you're 5-1. You're riding a 3 fight win streak. You know, you beat Stan Grusso, Julian Lane by decision, and you also beat David Simpson. You got a lot going on for you, but a lot of that was in the light heavyweight division at 185. Now for this
Yeah.
challenge that you're taking up on against Frank at 175, that middleweight, how's that working out for you?
My when I fought MMA, I fought at 170. That was my home. Of course, we take short notice fights. We go a little bit heavier and
Right.
all this other stuff. So the plan was always to go to 75 and try to go after a belt in BKFC. Once I found out, I just fell in love with it and wanted to do it. As we were making our way down there, trying to get opponents at a lower weight, it was harder. It's hard to find a fight sometimes. So we were staying at 85, fighting these big boys because they felt like they had an advantage against me. And one thing led to another. Then all of a sudden, I know Yuli and Ricci fought for the belt, and I was like, damn, that sucks because they're kind of buddies. They're buddies of mine, both of them actually. So I was like, you know what? I'll just stay at 85. I'll win this belt, and if they ever lose it, then I'll go down and try to take that one as well. So reverse order, going down instead of up in weight to get the belts. But I train with a shift team, and we have a lot of 85ers in there. They love my boy Jared because he's a badass. So I know he's on another title run. So I was like, I just gotta. It's either you know wait my turn with a teammate or just go handle my business with somebody, and it's the game. It's a fight game, you know. And
True.
he's cool. He fought Yuli. They're friends, you know. So I know there'll be no hard feelings between us. And like I said, it's a business, so we're just gonna go out there and we're gonna do what we do and see who's the best.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's something that you and I talked about before we started recording the interview, right? Like how a lot of these guys have that mutual respect or amicable and you know, tend to put business first and say, you know what, for the betterment of both of our careers, let's go ahead and put, you know, our differences aside and take care of business in the ring. And you know,
Yeah,
this fight is very interesting because like you said, when you were fighting in the light heavyweight division, you're fighting a lot of guys who are numerally weighing in definitely the day of the fight heavier than you and probably have a little bit of a size and height and reach advantage. Fighting Fank at 175, I'm sure you're used to the weight, but how do you plan on dealing with his height and his reach because he's pretty tall for that middleweight division and you know like I met him in person 6'3" tall dude, you know that reach can be an advantage, but you seem to hold your own because you stay in the pocket a lot and like to throw hooks. Is
you
that what your
know,
game plan is?
it's I it's hard because I don't really have a game plan, you know. I always go
Mm,
out there and we just kind of figure out what they're trying to do. We find their weaknesses and we start taking things away from them. It's there's a lot that goes into it, you know. I fight taller guys a lot, so I'm not worried about his length. You know, I'm very good
awesome.
at finding my way inside, and when I get in there, I can stay in there. And I'm also good at baiting people to come forward, so I'm just very comfortable everywhere. So whatever we find starts working when we're in there is where we're going to stick to. You know, if something's not working, we'll change it up, change the scheme. You know, it's just that's fighting, that's boxing. You know, that's uh, so that's it's just going to be a very strategic fight.
That's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it, bro, because at that Hollywood event that you mentioned where Yuli and Richie fought, like you saw two very technical guys and watching and studying your fights, I've noticed that you have very good composure. You stick to your jab game, you stick to your rhythm, and like you said, you're thinking on your feet. One thing that I did have to credit you and your team on is your conditioning, man. The ability to go 5 rounds in BKFC is not easy. A lot of people underlook that because they just think, it's quick rounds. These guys aren't really taking a lot of damage. But there's a lot of head movement. There's a lot of ducking and dodging. There's a lot of, pawing away
Yeah,
punches that can sap your energy. What's your key to conditioning?
you know, I don't. I have, you know, I train with Chisel Inc. and Fitness 360. There's my personal trainers, my gyms, and all my training partners were always grinding. So I have a team behind me. Recovery
Mm,
is always key. You know, that's where the catalyst comes into play. I get massages. Uh, so it's just it's a science to it. You know, so we just have to you have to always balance everything out and you push, you grind. We don't just take it easy. Oh, because we don't feel like training today. You know, so it's a job. I treat it like a job. I'm in there, I'm grinding, and it just transfers over. You know, it's nothing super special other than we work. We go in there
right.
and we work.
I like that, man. Like I told you, I feel like Florida guys, man, they're built different. You know, there's a lot of talent within this state, and I think
Absolutely.
that, like that's where you come in. You know, you bring a
There,
lot of
there's a
talent
funny
here.
story. Yeah,
Let
there's a
me
funny
hear it.
story to
Let me
that.
hear it.
So I fought on that show, Dana White looking for a fight. It's a YouTube series or something like that. I flew up to,
Yeah.
I think it was Massachusetts or something like that. It was a short notice fight too. And it was actually after I just had lost to Mike Perry. And I wanted to get that off my, get going again. So we went up there, we took the fight, and I completely demolished the guy. And he was a good dude and everything, but I was on my A game. I went in there and I whooped his ass in front of Dana White. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to get a contract, shit like that. And I go up to him like, "Hey, how'd you like the fight?" He's like, "It was awesome." He's like, "You're from Florida?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You should have finished him." I'm like, "Thanks." I was like, "All right," but little did he know the dude was from Florida as well. But he moved up there and started his own gym. But I mean, it's what it was.
I
It was
mean
a
that
good time, and
that's awesome, man. And then at least he recognizes like, yo, you're from Florida, you're a killer, I was expecting the fireworks.
yeah.
But
So I mean, we definitely put on a show. I mean, it was a scrap. There was a lot of damage done. So I gave everyone what they wanted. It's just my eyes weren't on me that night, so no biggie. And
it's
everything
all
happens
good,
for a
man.
reason because now look where we're at here. Get ready to
Ex-
take that belt. So
Exactly, man. We're here, and you're gonna be the co-main event December 3rd here at the Hard Rock. Like I said, fighting a local guy, you're gonna be fighting on his turf, quote unquote. And I'm sure that does mean anything to you because you're coming to win the belt, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I have a sour taste in my mouth from Miami. As you stated earlier, I fought Hector. I won that fight. 100% I won that
Hundred
fight. I
percent.
outboxed him. I actually broke my left hand in the very first exchange of the fight. The rest of the time I fought him
Wow.
one-handed. And somebody who's known to run in there and just rush people couldn't find a way in on me. He
Yeah.
didn't want to, because he got hit once and he's like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? So like, and you look at that over everybody, everyone who's fought me, all these, bangers who want to run in there. Julian Lane, another good dude. We were mutual
Right.
friends as well. People cracked it up. Well, he knew you guys were friends, so he didn't want to bang with you. I'm like, well, maybe, but what about, maybe they got touched and they're like, I don't want to feel that again. So everyone fights everyone differently, and when they know that they got power, they kind of pull back and they're a little bit more timid.
Yeah.
So with you.
I mean, like I said, you have good composure when it comes to the ring. And I've noticed that in all of your fights, you tend to take over the center of the ring, and I feel like that's a key to allowing you to gauge what the other person's trying to do to, and then counteracting whatever it is they're doing.
I Yeah, I always try to control, and doesn't even necessarily mean I have to take the center of the ring to control them. Sometimes I could be pulling
True.
people forward. I could be using the outside, using the whole ring to just pull him in and touch him and just so it really just depends, but I noticed in BKFC, obviously, they want the more brawly types of fights. They want people coming forward. So a lot of the game has been transferred over, walking people down. Even though my last fight, the dude was bigger than me, everyone could
Yep.
see, and I went forward on him more, and it actually allowed me to finish him, which is what everyone wants to see, and I get it.
Not finished
It's not
him.
always that easy.
Folded him.
Yeah,
Folded him. You
fair
gotta
enough.
say it like that. You folded that guy, man. And look,
I know I fight, but like I don't like making fun of. I'm not a trash talker. We fight when we go out there, and
right.
everyone can see what's going on. I don't need to say it, and whether it be I folded him or just I finished the fight. The point was like I walked him down, I went forward, and we found the finish, and that's what everyone wants to see. So I plan on doing that from here on out because I don't like I don't trust the judges, man. We don't ever know what they want. I've seen people walk people down and do no damage and win the fight. And then I've seen people walk people down and do a lot of damage and still not win the fight. So I was like, what do you guys want? What do you want? I guess we just got to finish them.
For sure.
But again, that's harder. It's harder to do than, the two trained
Easier
fighters
said
in there.
than done. For sure. I mean,
Exactly.
like everybody, and something that one of the guys told me before that I met who does BKFC, he told me everybody who walks in there is a killer because everybody who walks in there is walking in there with the intention to hurt the other person. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? With all due
absolutely.
respect, but they're going in there to hurt
Yeah.
people. You know what I mean?
It's just, the coach says it all the time that this is the hurt business, we're not,
Right.
so it's mutual. We both know what's going to happen. We both go in there and at the end of it, when it's done, hey, it's cool. It don't matter. It's, it's,
Exactly.
it's just about
Yeah,
making
man.
that money, man.
Yeah, man, and putting on an entertaining fight, like you said, and I think that all of your fights have been entertaining, and the people can expect a really good show from you on December 3rd. But I do have one question
Absolutely.
that is just between us, something maybe you can give your fans a little preview. What's gonna be your walkout music, man?
I I always walk out pretty much the same song, and I might change it up this time. I haven't really made a decision, but we're gonna figure that one out. I
All
got
right,
nothing
all
more to
right.
say on that.
All right, looking forward to it, bro. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in person at the weigh-in. We're gonna be there with my partner Joel, Sports with Soso. And again, I just want to thank you, David, for the opportunity, bro. And I want to give you another chance and an opportunity to let everybody know where they can find you, and shout out your team again because I'm dying to meet those guys, man. Especially your dressed trainer. That guy steals the show
I
with
think
his
he.
outfits, man.
Oh, I think he's got something special for everybody. I think my whole team does, my whole squad coming out there. And
Let's
again,
go.
my Instagram is Redneck Mundell. My fan page on Facebook is Redneck Mundell, and then just David Mundell for my regular Facebook. I want to give a special shout out to Cadim's. They've supplied me with a bunch of supplements for this camp and just helped me get going and, dropping a lot of weight and staying healthy. It's a big one. Catalyst Physical Therapy is actually get better faster after the last fight so I could start training. I got Chiseled
Awesome.
Ink and Fitness 360 helping me keep up with my condition. Outlaw Custom, Florida Alternative Meds, Quality Rare Coins, of course, Team Reaper, Safety Harbor, Fence Factory, and then Legendary Tattoos.
Let's do it, man. And shout out to Nicholas Ruiz, man, your trainer over there at Chiseled Ink.
Yes,
I
that's
saw, I saw,
that's
I
that's
saw you
him.
hit in the midst with him, and I was like, "Yo, this guy,
So
he's gonna be a problem."
Frankie's my mitt man. All right, Frankie's my mitt man. That's not Nick. Nick, and Frankie, we all meet up at 360, and
Got it.
I got this sweet regimen going on right now. I get to go in there and hit my workout, and then as soon as I'm done with that, I get to transfer right over to hitting mitts. So there's not that. Okay, I gotta wait and I gotta drive,
Right.
and then I'm all
Cool
stiff
down.
getting there. Now it's time to train, which is always a pain in the ass. So Frankie helps me out, has helped me out tremendously through his camp. He's very smooth on the mitts, and he drives to me and he helps me and he loves it, and he's a good dude. And
Awesome,
so is
man.
Nick.
Shout out
So
to Frankie, man. Shout out to Frankie and shout out to Nick at the guys over there in Chiseled. Again, David, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I can't wait to see you again in person, brother.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this interview. Another BKFC fight going down December 3rd at the Hard Rock. We have Frank Ricci. You've seen him on the program taking on David Mundell. And on the main event, we got Babu Palomino taking on Tom Showoff. It's going to be an exciting card. So make sure to go to the website, get your tickets, and get there in the building and check out your boy So. Until next time, peace.